There are many types of skills out there, whether it's personality traits or simply habits that we have acquired over the years. These are all really important skills to be having in our lives. And of course, there are a variety of skills that can help improve our own lives. Today, I want to be talking about 5 of those skills. So as far as these skills go, these are skills that are very near and dear to my heart. They have helped me shape into who I am today and helped me with growing myself further beyond where I'm at right now. So as far as this list goes, this list is simply the skills, whether it's personality traits that I have or habits that I've acquired over the years that have helped me and complemented who I am today. So the first one that I want to be talking about is cooking. Now, cooking is something that I have acquired about almost a decade ago, and as far as cooking goes in my life, I really wasn't much of a cook until I traveled across Canada through the Katimavik program. And this is something that's very important to me because it got me out of my comfort zone and pushed me to do something that I normally wouldn't be doing. And at the end of the day, I really enjoy cooking. In fact, there are a lot of benefits that come from cooking your own meals. Because one, it saves you a lot of money, especially when you're going to college or university, because you don't have to buy frozen pizzas. You could just make your own pizza if you really wanted to, or you could just get by with making salads for your lunch instead of buying all of these processed foods that don't really help you at all with your health. Even though I really want to be talking about my health, but either way, cooking in general helps a lot with your health, and it also helps in a variety of other fashions as well. The second skill that has helped me out a lot in my life is persistence. As far as this channel goes, this is a perfect example of my persistence at work. I have been on YouTube for several years now, and pretty much every single time I've created some different channels. I've rebranded this channel more specifically, and I've created a variety of videos over the years for those of you who have been around for a very long time. So as far as persistence goes, it really helps a lot to go that extra mile and to continue to be creative, to try different ideas and so on. Even though sometimes it doesn't really work out that way, sometimes you fail, but you always learn something from it, and that is something that's very important to me because it helps me to grow myself and to improve myself and figure out what other things can I be doing to be improving my channel, to be improving my brand, and so on. So persistence has really helped me out a lot in pretty much my life as an entrepreneur. The third skill that I think that is really important to have to improve your own life is optimism. Having a positive attitude and a positive demeanor. Now, as I explained in one of my other videos, it's important to have a balance between positivity and realism as well. But having that balance is very important for me because it helps me to realize, like, okay, I do actually have some problems that I need to be figuring out, but I know that I will overcome them. And that whole thing. I explain it more in one of my other videos. Either way, optimism is incredibly important, and having that realistic thinking to keep yourself in check and having that balance is incredibly important when it comes to entrepreneurship, because there are a lot of people who are aspiring to create these amazing businesses, and it's great to have that sort of optimism, but sometimes the reality is that your idea is not exactly the greatest out there. It's not going to yield as much as you might think that it might yield in terms of revenue or in growth. And sometimes it's going to take a lot more time and effort to really grow something. And that's okay, as long as you're, again, persisting forward and encouraging yourself along the way. That's really key. The fourth skill that's important to have in life is having an exercise routine. I know I'm not the figure of perfect health here. However, I do actually have an exercise regimen that I follow through every single day. Not to mention, on top of that, I have a walking schedule as well, where I take an hour out of my entire day and just go for a walk. Having that time is really important, and of course it breaks up your day as well. Having that sort of mixture in there is really important because we're not used to having the same routine day every single day. We're not meant to have those sorts of routines where we're doing the exact same thing every single day. So having a walk in the middle of your schedule or at the end of the workday is crucial and very helpful, because you get to choose what sort of path you want to be walking. You might choose a trail instead of just walking around the neighborhood. And those sorts of little twists and turns can actually make your day a little more tolerable and a lot more enjoyable, because you're going to something different as opposed to doing the exact same activity over and over and over again. Habits are important, however, you don't want your habits to take control of 99.9% of your entire life. You have to have some variety, you have to be mixing it up, even if it's the same habit that you're trying to develop. So go for a different walk, take a different route, do some other form of physical activity as well on particular days. It doesn't always have to be like a workout. However, it could be something like going out and playing tennis or badminton or soccer or whatever. The last skill that I think is really important to have in improving your own life is having an open mind. This is something that I take pride in expanding my view, and there are certainly times where I do have a bit of a closed mind, I do have a bit of a bias, and it's important to acknowledge those things, but also have reasons for thinking that way as well. It's key to have an open mind because, of course, there are billions of us here, and we all have our own different opinions and our different values and views of the world, and of every tiny topic and detail and everything else like that. So it's important to have an open mind because it helps you to understand other people a lot better. When you have an open mind, when you're open to new possibilities, in the end you might not agree with that sort of opinion, but it's important to at least acknowledge that you are aware of their opinion, and that even though you don't agree with it, you are still accepting of them and their way of thinking. This sort of thing is crucial in this day and age because, again, we are so opinionated, and obviously our opinions can be very dangerous if it gets blown out of proportion. When there's a vast majority of people that don't agree with one another, there is a lot of conflict, of course. So it's really important for me to have an open mind, and for other people to have an open mind about everything, because it helps you grow as a person, even if it's not something that you agree with. So those are the skills that I think are very important. Of course, there are plenty of other skills and other habits and personality traits that can really help in developing yourself. But what's important when it comes to these skills is that you can always acquire these over time. You can develop these things. Even if you're starting at the ground floor, you can always develop these skills and grow them. They're not exclusive to specific people. As long as, again, you have an open mind and you're willing to make some changes and develop new habits. That is the crucial part.